All right, everybody, welcome back. You guys wanted us to take a deep dive into remittances, and guess what? That's exactly what we're going to do. Buckle up.
Should be fascinating.
It is. We're talking about how those dollars, the ones hard-earned by migrant workers while their journey back home, how it affects the Mexican peso, the US dollar, all that good stuff. Oh, and we can't forget its impact on the agriculture industry.
Right. It all ties together, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, picture this. We're talking millions and millions of paychecks, hopping borders like it's nothing. It's wild.
Yeah.
It really puts the global economy.
It does. A constant flow of money shaping economies big and small.
Okay, so before we go any further, let's break it down for everyone. Remittances. Explain it like I'm 5.
Okay, so remittances. It's that money that migrant workers send back to their families in their home countries, to support them.
Exactly. Helping out the folks back home. But in many countries, it's more than just a little help, right? It's a major economic force.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about a huge chunk of their national income. In some cases, even more than they get from, say, foreign investment.
No way. Seriously. Give me an example. I got to hear this.
Okay, so Mexico, perfect example. Last year, get this, remittances to Mexico hit a record high of over $60 billion.
60 billion with a B. That's got to be more than what they see in foreign investment, right?
Way more. Foreign direct investment was only around $35 billion.
Wow. So remittances are almost double. That's insane.
Right.
It's really a lifeline for a lot of folks.
Exactly. And a lot of that money is coming from, you guessed it, Mexicans working in the U.S., especially in agriculture. They earn in U.S. dollars, send it home, and then boom, it gets converted to pesos.
Okay, so we've got this constant flow of cash between the U.S. and Mexico. It's like a two-way street. You can't tell me that doesn't impact both economies.
Exactly. And one of the biggest impacts is on the exchange rate between the U.S. dollar and the Mexican peso.
Okay, so walk me through this. How does this whole remittance thing actually move the needle on what a currency is worth?
Think about it this way. Whenever someone sends money to Mexico, they're basically using their dollars to buy pesos, right?
Right. Got to have the right currency when you're sending money home.
Exactly. So that increases demand for pesos, and just like with anything else, when more people want something, the price goes up.
Oh, right. Supply and demand, the oldest rule in the book. More people want pesos, pesos become more expensive, kind of like when those avocado prices shot up, everyone's guacamole, suddenly, bam, you're paying extra.
Exactly. And that's how more remittances can lead to a stronger Mexican peso. But remember, there are always two sides to every coin, or in this case, currency.
Ooh. What's the other side of this coin then?
Well, if the peso gets too strong, then suddenly Mexican exports, like all those avocados you mentioned, those get more expensive for U.S. consumers.
Ah, I see. So if the peso is strong, that tasty guacamole is going to cost me. It's a trade-off.
Exactly. It's this balancing act. Remittances strengthen the peso, but a strong peso could mean higher prices for Mexican goods in the U.S. It's all connected.
It's amazing, really. It's mind-blowing how one thing leads to another, especially in economics.
It really is. And it makes you wonder, what happens if something in this system changes?
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, let's say U.S. immigration policies change and it becomes harder to work here. That could mean fewer remittances, which could weaken the peso, you see.
Right. Less money flowing back to Mexico. And then there's all the talk about robots and automation. What happens if those robots start picking our fruits and veggies?
Precisely. Less demand for labor could mean fewer workers sending money back to Mexico.
Wow. It really makes you think. So many moving pieces. It's like a giant game of chess, but with economies.
That's a great way to put it. It highlights how interconnected we all are. What happens in one place can have huge ripple effects across the world.
Absolutely. And it's a good reminder that at the heart of all this, we're talking about people. Real people working hard, supporting their families, sending money back home.
You've got that right.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. Thanks for joining me. And to everyone listening, keep those questions coming. You never know what we'll be exploring next. Until then, stay curious.